What's up, everyone? This is TGO with another episode of the Untitled FWA Podcast, and this is going to be a fun one because I have Shake.
Hello.
Yes, it's a fun one. You know what? It's going to be a huge trip down memory lane. It's going to be a fun one for me. It's going to be a
Yeah,
fun one from
totally.
everyone. Yeah, it's going to be a fun one, right? Shake, what's up, man? Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, man, I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Got started a little bit late because the newborn needed a diaper change, and
Yeah, man.
I wouldn't have said that a month ago. So
Yeah, no, congratulations on the newborn.
I appreciate it, man. And I will say we were talking before we started recording, so I'll say it. Your accent, I know you're Scottish. Your accent does sound somewhat close to Tig's.
You're crazy, man. You're fucking. Yeah, no, you're just. Nah, totally. No.
Tig is Irish, you're Scottish. It shouldn't, but to me, being like the stupid Yank, like it just sounds similar. I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
no,
put that
man.
more on my ignorance than anything.
Probably. I think the people from the UK and Ireland will definitely know the difference.
For sure. No, I know. It's just me. It'd probably be like anyone from the United States would probably say it just because like we're just dumb, like that's just the way it is. I don't know.
Nice one, man. I don't disagree.
So this is gonna be fun. We're gonna because the Golden character and the Rondo character are very intertwined, very connected.
Yeah, man. Brokeback Mountain jokes.
Right. And so it's going to be fun to kind of go down memory lane, both of us, really with a focus on the Rondo character who just came back. Well, didn't come back, was revealed to have been Donnie Toner this whole time, is a tag champion, is going to back in business. And yeah, and like just all the different like threads and subplots of the tag team title match that we have planned. I think it's I think the Ryan Rondo character needs like a bit of a retrospective. Is like just holy crap how awesome he's been. So
Yeah, I mean, I suppose I agree. Obviously, a lot has changed since the character kind of left.
so like it's good to kind of you don't go in like exact detail of just how great, but like even just going through like the different title wins and like talking about the different things happening, I think kind of gives that context. So I think that's where we start. We're going to go through the 13. 13 is a record now, by the way. No one's ever had 13. 13
Thank you.
different title wins in the career, which started January 10th, 2010, when you became the ex-champion, beating Golden. So, like,
Brilliant.
it started way back then, 11 years ago. I think it was a I'm gonna try and pronounce it. Tap pie death match. I think it was.
Yeah, I think so as well. At least that's my memory of it. Or we had a match, definitely.
Right. What other memories do you have from that? Like that was your first title win. You joined in 2009. I joined in 2008. We both came to Crossfire. I had been the champ for like, I don't know, 6, 7, I think 8 months. You were like kind of a similar character, and it was kind of like just fitting that you won it, that you were the person to win it. What do you remember from that?
Honestly, I don't really remember much. Obviously, a really long time ago. Obviously, I think you called me out in like a news segment or something. You just pretty much said, let's fucking have a title match. And that's what happened.
Right.
And then I won. That's really it. Obviously there wasn't much history back then, but I think both guys were kind of similar, kind of face type characters. I would say definitely had that kind of fan favorite thing going on. But yeah, no, I think both guys obviously kind of had that thing about them at the time, and maybe that's why you called me out. I don't know.
Yeah, it was similar, that kind of AJ Stylesy baby face, which kind of leads me to like, what was the original inspiration for the character when you joined in 2009?
You pretty much hit the nail on the head, man. That was it, really. AJ Styles and Christian Cage were like probably my favorite sort of guys. I know Christian Cage wasn't really Christian Cage at the time, but He was Christian Cage in TNA. That was my kind of guy. I kind of just liked AJ Styles' character, kind of the story that he was like a TNA rookie, and he became, the guy of TNA. Like when you say TNA, you kind of think of AJ Styles first. Maybe not. That's not the case with FWA and Rondo, but it's kind of similar.
I mean, to me, I think it kind of fits perfect, especially because AJ Styles, you think of the X division, especially when he was in TNA, and like Rondo at the start was, you thought of the X division.
Yeah.
Because he had at one point the most reigns, like the record. He had 3. I think Sully's had 3 or 4, but for a while it was Rondo. So after beating Golden a year later, exactly a year later, he becomes a 2-time champion, beats XXX, Xander Xerxes.
Oh yeah, man, what a guy!
Right? Who Tig and Cyrus Truth will know is that Carter 007 was the handler. They were with him in a different Fed. They have no way of contacting him, which is unfortunate because XXX was awesome. And that actually like led into like the Crossfire Great Siege angle.
I don't actually remember it all much about it. I think I can't even remember my motivation behind wanting to join the Great Siege.
It was
because
weird. It was
Rondo
like,
was a babyface, and
right. So
I
Golden
think he
had
done it just to fuck with XXX in a way.
yeah. So Golden had to start it because he lost to APAB in 2011 at Back in Business. He lost them in a tag title match, so he had to form it on Crossfire, which didn't really make a lot of sense because like why would Golden be a heel, and like it doesn't make any sense. So he basically like made like a face version of it, like a face aligned version. But XXX was a heel and he joined, but Rondo joined almost to spite XXX. Kind of.
Yeah, man. I kind of took the spotlight away from him signing up to the Great Siege and stuff. Because I think if I remember the character right, it was kind of a bit of a show off. It kind of reminds me of Michael Garcia in a way. He's very selfish if you think about it.
He was very like Mike Parr.
Yeah, or like maybe compare him to like MJF in AEW just now.
Yes. Yeah.
He's very much like him, and I think doing that to fuck with him was just kind of funny. And yeah, we had a decent feud. If I'm being honest, I don't remember much of it. That's just because passage of time and other things have happened. But yeah, no, it was, from what I remember, we had some good stuff and we did have a decent focus because it was obviously during the brand split as well. So that was kind of a lower card feud that had a bit of spotlight on it.
About 8 months later, you became the Young Lion. Do you remember the Young Lions title?
Yeah, I remember that.
That's wild. And you became the champ, and you were the last champ ever. Mark Reynolds, you were the last champ. Do you remember anything about? Because I forgot about that. Do you remember anything about that?
Shit, was it Mark Reynolds, man? Oh my god. Oh, that guy. Wonder what he's up to. But yeah, no, the Young Lions title's crazy. Yeah, but I wasn't a fight night guy, so to win the Young Lions title and unify it with the X title was pretty funny. Because the Crossfire guy retired the Young Lions title. I thought I faced James Hughes for that, or Eisenstein, or whatever you want to call the guy. I could never figure out how to pronounce that name. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, I thought I beat him, but or Juan Lopez, I can't remember. It's pretty stacked lower card, full memorable guys, or maybe it's just me because I was in that kind of position. Although comparing it to nowadays, I mean, if they were in today's FW, it'd be pretty stacked, but I think today's lower card is much better.
A few months later, you win the X Championship again from Juan Lopez.
Oh, there we go.
Like this is late 2011, early 2012, right before the brands merge, and right before the Crossfire Great Siege kind of disbands, and Golden and XXX have their match at Back in Business.
How did the Great Siege disband? The Crossfire Siege, sorry.
So the original Great Siege disbanded when Gabby lost the title to Duke Drazen. Speedy, and then APAB lost the tag titles, and I think the Crossfire Great Siege just kind of withered away because at one point it was just like, I think Rondo may have like ended up on Fight Night at some point, and it was just Golden and XXX, and they hated each other in kayfabe, and so it was kind of just like they just split, right? Like
I've got it.
And so there was just nothing left. I think we kind of basically ended it whenever the original one ended it. And we were like, well, we're not going to like keep this going when the original isn't even here to there's nothing kayfabe that would keep it together. Like there's no contract that says we have to do it for a certain amount of time. So I think we just it just withered away, and I think Golden and XXX feuded, and that was kind of that. It was kind of understood. And then 2012, again, we're at that's 4 title reigns, and you've only been in FWA for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Then 2012 tag, we formed Sunrise Sunset, the tag champs. We beat Wolfpack. We defend against, this is a weird one. We defended against Sean Moore and PAJ in our first defense. We beat APAB in our second defense.
I don't even remember the first defense. That's crazy.
Right. And I was like looking, and I remember
Sean Moore came back.
It was Sean Moore. Yeah, it was. Yeah, right. Like he came back and like they slotted them into a tag feud with PAJ, and there was like they weren't a tag team. It was just like they threw it together.
Do you say PAJ?
I say PAJ.
Page?
Is it? Do you say PAG or Page?
No, I say Page. It's just Page.
You say Page. I say PAJ.
Oh, Page.
All right, so it's Page. All right,
Sorry.
so Sean Moore and Page.
Yeah.
You're gonna turn me to Page. Sean Moore and Page, and they weren't a tag team. They were just slotted together randomly.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we beat APAB, which was like a seminal moment. And then we had the Vodka Venom stuff at Back in Business, and we'll get into that in a second. But what did you remember from like the Sunrise Sunset stuff coming together? Because like we beat Ryan Hall and Brian Carter before we ever won the tag titles. That was like our first tag match.
Fuck. Yeah, I remember that actually. Yeah, because I remember facing Brian Carter. And beating him. I think it was his return match, which was kind of big for me at that point in time. So that was kind of the first kind of serious, kind of solid mid card kind of guy that I think I'd kind of taken out on my own merit. You know, just completely random put together match if you think about it at the point in time.
Yeah.
And really, I was probably supposed to lose that match.
I think you were. Yeah, I would say so. But like you said, that was kind of the moment. I don't know. That was like the first, maybe not the first moment because you had been a 3-time X champ, but that was one of the first moments that it was like, okay, this like there's something clicking.
Oh yeah, definitely. Still wasn't over there yet, but just to go back, talking about the Sunrise Sunset stuff. I think the problem there. Sorry. I think the way it got to that point, I don't know. I think I'd just asked you if you wanted to team up. I think someone just came at me and I can't remember who it was from the booking team. I think they just told me we've got nothing for you at this point in time because I just had the X title, and if I remember right, I dropped it, I vacated it to Mac. Like we just done an angle where Rondo got injured or something on Mac. Like we just made that Mac look like a complete monster, and then I just lost the X title. It was just done like a kind of segment / squash match. And then someone tell me we just don't have anything for you at the moment. We can't find anywhere to slot you in. I was just like, fuck it. I want to be a tag champion. Let's fucking message Devin Golden and ask him, do you want to be a tag champion? And then, happened.
Because I think we talked about it before. Like, it wasn't like...
Yeah, I can't remember, like, if you were... See, I can't remember. Here's the thing. I remember a guy called Cameron Cross.
Yes.
I can't remember if I teamed with him before or after this.
Probably before.
Right. So I think teaming with him, and I think we had a tag title shot, and I think he no-showed it. Or he screwed me over or something, right? And we probably would have won. I can't remember who we were facing. Because I think it was on Crossfire, so it would have been whoever's Crossfire champs. Not sure. So yeah, I think obviously came close, so maybe I should get a partner I can trust.
So, and we had been talking about like being a team again, because like the Golden character called Rondo out for the X title match like 3 years earlier.
Yeah, that's probably what made me
or 2 years earlier
think about it. Yeah.
So it was kind of like these characters fit, and in Golden at that point was a former world heavyweight champion, and so like he was kind of a veteran, and Rondo was kind of coming into his own. It just kind of made sense.
Yeah.
And like, it's interesting how we only held the titles for like about 7, 8 months. We had like 2 or 3 successful defenses. It's interesting how like even like at that amount of time, people for whatever reason like really loved it. Like not just you and me, like everyone really enjoyed it.
I think it's because of the things we done in segments and stuff like that, just what we said in promo material. And it's, obviously we just talk about the Toner stuff a moment there. I think that's why Danny Toner is kind of an interesting character at the minute, because he just says things and does them, if that makes sense. And I think that's what we did. When we became a team, we said we were going to beat APAB, and just done it.
Yeah,
it's no problem. Just the best. What was it? The supposed best tag team in the FWA history at that time, and beat them in the first match pretty handily.
Right.
And in the second match, I don't think, all respect to Killswitch, Drew, who obviously he's not around anymore, but he was a cool guy. I think he kind of backed it in after that second match, like before that second match, sorry. I think he kind of saw the momentum.
Right. We blew him away. And I remember one grader, I'm not going to say his name, one grader graded them to win. And it was like, it was kind of egregiously absurd that they would have been graded to win that match.
Yeah, I mean, I know who you're talking about, and obviously we spoke about it at the time because you messaged me exactly who would grade them to win the match, and look, everyone has different opinions on what they enjoy, and I think just probably that time, the person who was grading that match was a bit of an old schooler, and I think he probably just seen Rondo and Golden as being probably. Well, I don't know if had Golden won the world title at this point, yeah.
Yeah, he had. I just, I think that grader just for whatever reason was
probably viewed Rondo as being a bit below everyone else in the match.
Right.
Because there was people, again, just back in the times, there could have been, I do think there was sometimes certain bias against lower carders in certain matches, but it wasn't like it just happened here and there. Sometimes it's just subconscious. Some people just enjoy certain characters more, even when grading. Like how unbiased can you be when you grade?
It's a good point.
It was funny what happened, but obviously the grades with APAB doesn't really matter when you take into consideration what happened later on back in business. So funny stuff just happens, man. That's just the way it goes. I don't take it personal. Like I don't ever remember blowing up at MD with regards to match results. Maybe once, twice, but never enough to take my ball and go home or anything like that. Like it just happens.
Right.
You just need to go on with it, man. That loss is promo material.
So Back in Business, Sunrise Sunset faces Vodka and Venom. It's like the crowning tour where we're facing all these old teams, old great teams. It's like this moment where we're kind of being crowned as the new great team. We face Vodka and Venom, which is Stu, St. Clair, and Ashley Orion for anyone who does not know automatically, and they're one of the great teams.
Yeah, they're legendary. So
right,
yeah.
And man. So there was a rule change. There's a rule change now that is still in effect now that went into effect because of this match. There were 4 graders. 3 of them graded Sunrise Sunset to win by small amounts, like a point, a point and a half, whatever. 1 grader graded Vodka and Venom to win by like 5 or 6 points, which was ridiculous. But still, so like by averages, Vodka and Venom had it by like 0.0, like 0.25 or 0.15 or something. But it was 3-1 for Sunrise Sunset. It was just because this one grader, this outlier grader, had such a huge gap. And so I was a mod, and I was in the mod chat being like, all right, well, I think we probably need a tiebreaker, because we have 3-1, but it's, the averages are going different ways. So let's just get a tiebreaker. But Nash, who was controlling Stu's character, who was a mod, was like, no, the averages say that Vodka and Venom won. Vodka and Venom went. And I was like, what? That's ridiculous. And it became a heated conversation.
Did you ever recover from that?
Yeah, we're fine.
All right, good.
It became a heated conversation, and it was like, well, tradition says that averages are the law. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Logically, it doesn't make any sense. It's 3-1. Why would we give the team that only got one person think that they won the win over the team that three people thought won? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And so from that, there was no compromise. No one was going to back down. And we decided we're going to be co-champs. One from each person, I think it was Rondo and Ashley, are going to grab the belt at the same time.
Oh my God, man. This just, it was a bit of a gut punch, to be honest with you. I feel like it totally capsized everything for us.
Yeah. What did you think? Like, from your there was a very much a compromise. Like, let's just find a resolution to this that we're both like somewhat okay with. What did you think at the time? What did you remember about that?
Honestly, I don't remember much. I think obviously I at the time wasn't obviously involved a lot behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of, a lot of the time back then, I don't know if there was a lot of people involved behind the scenes, obviously. Like, compared to now, we didn't have like a Discord chat and everyone's just freely talking away in a Discord chat. We did have a shout box sometimes, but, I think I didn't interact with the mods or see much what went on behind the scenes with regards to the situation. So I was very much in the dark, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. So my opinion at the time was obviously want to win, should have won. I feel like doing the co-champs thing sucks. We could have just done a rematch after Sunrise Sunset won. There was like no need to do a tie. We could have just done a perfect rematch, no problem. Like, nothing changes really.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been happy to give Vodka and Venom a rematch. So there'd been no problem with that. It was a good competitive match. So I feel like the co-champs thing kind of capsized us a little bit and took away some of our momentum, because the outcome was what Nash wanted and what Vodka and Venom got. I feel like kind of a lot of the inspiration, momentum, had went to them. And, I feel like if we could win the second match, then it's like a second wind, but it didn't happen. And obviously after that, Sunrise Sunset kind of didn't last that long. Kind of split up after that. And, it's a case of hindsight and what if and stuff. I think if we won that match, we probably went on a bit longer. But I also think, losing the match and calling it quits was, fair dues. I think both of us were kind of ready to probably do new things. We kind of achieved what we'd wanted from this. Or I did, at least, anyway.
I agree. And we were co-champs. We faced Vodka and Venom. We also faced Lucy and Ace and...
oh, man, what a guy.
Right. And there was another character, a Japanese created character, and Vodka and Venom won, which really it should have been the other team. It should have been King TE and Wolf's Lucy and Ace that won, because they were kind of building up to being taking the mantle, but Vodka and Venom won. And then we split and kind of did our own stuff. I think you even took a little bit of a break. I took a little bit of a break. And then at the end so Rondo became TV champ in 2013. You beat Mac Mashad, Monster Mac Mashad, for the TV champ. You were the last official TV champ because in December 15th, 2013, you beat Shane McMahon in a unification match. It should have been that whoever was the champ, that title would persist. So you should, in theory, the TV title would have lived, but you just I guess it was a ladder match and you burned the TV title. The Rondo character did, and you held on to the North American title. And you joined Jimmy King's stable. This is right after we joined Wrestling Click. What did you remember about that? Because for me, when I remembered it, I was this was the moment that everyone was all right, Ryan Rondo's going to be a single star. He's going to win the world title someday. He's awesome. That was a big moment.
Probably the first time, but definitely the first time he turned seriously heel.
Yeah.
So being able to do that, and the heel turn itself being surprising and kind of successful, because if I'm being honest, I thought Shane McMahon would have won that match.
Really?
Yeah. Just at the time, Shane McMahon was kind of, I can't remember if how did he win? Did he win the TV title back or the NA title back, or did he beat me for it before? Something like that. Did we trade them at all? No.
It was something like that. Yeah.
Did he beat me and Page in a triple threat, or was that for the world title? I can't remember.
You guys had a triple threat for the world title.
Remember that happening, and I can't remember if the plan was actually to turn Rondo heel all the way through. I can't remember if the plan was just to turn the winner heel, and the winner burned the opposite belt. I can't remember actually the specific plan, but I do remember promoing for it and kind of doing a promo where Rondo had like an angel and a devil on each shoulder.
Right.
And I think doing that kind of promo kind of got me there because I kind of teased, obviously, Rondo's thinking about the heel turn and things like that.
Right.
And I think it didn't really come off because the CWA angle kind of didn't really. I can't even remember now actually if it focused on Rondo all that much or if I actually lost like the NA title quite like a short while after. So I didn't really have that much heat to it anymore. But I was kind of wanting to do an angle where it's like Rondo only joined the CWA to try and take them down from within. But at the same time, it was really far fetched and burning the belt probably was a no-go thing. But it also had symmetry to Devin Golden as well.
It did, because Golden his first time turning heel was when he burned the world title.
Exactly. So, yeah. Again, just another thing. Is that maybe a slight nod to Devin Golden wearing off in Ryan Rondo? I don't know.
Right.
So even though I don't think the payoff at the end meant much for Rondo, it certainly, obviously, it was a big angle with Jimmy King and was it Wolf?
It was Jimmy King. Wolf was on the face side. Ryan Hall was
Yeah.
in the Jimmy King side. So like Rondo and Ryan Hall were like together, like aligned together.
Oh, fucking hell, man. I can't even remember this. I really don't remember this at all, man. That's crazy.
At Back in 2014, you turned heel in like late 2013. At Back in Business 2014, Rondo and Golden faced, but Golden was like this really dark White Thunder character.
Oh yeah, the silent Sting guy.
Right. And I think we did like 2 out of 3.
Yep. And the first fall, Rondo beat the shit out of him.
Right.
I think. And
right.
the second fall, Golden beat the shit out of Rondo. And then the third fall was obviously even. And then Golden won, sorry. I think that was how the match went.
It was something like that. I'm not sure who won.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember
you won. You definitely won.
The finish was like the Triple H Stone Cold thing from like I think it was No Way Out 2001, where like they both hit each other with a chair. They both went unconscious, and one of them just kind of landed on top of the other.
Yeah,
and that's how like that was the ending. It was a really good match, and it was the first time we ever faced it Back in Business too. The Dark White Thunder character, the serious White Thunder character, was like one of my least favorite eras of Golden, but it led to that match, and it got that match out of it, which was kind of cool.
No, I think I remember the angle and stuff. I do remember that. I think when I turned Rondo heel, like I'd always made a kind of point because Rondo's character was obviously the kind of clean cut babyface type. He did have a bit of an edge to him, but he didn't, break boundaries in terms of his language use, and it was kind of always safe language. So when I turned him heel, I made him kind of swear a lot more in his promos and stuff like that. So that it was kind of a noted change of demeanor. And obviously, I can't actually fucking remember what I'd done, obviously, to turn Golden into a big emo bitch, but something obviously happened. I can't remember what made Golden just feud with Rondo. I can't remember what happened at that point.
It was long ago.
Because he didn't, I don't think he attacked Golden or anything like that. Or maybe he did. Maybe it cost him a title shot or something. I don't know. Whatever happened.
Yeah.
And it was, it was nice to go heel, but I really didn't enjoy it all that much. I kind of feel a lot better writing the Ryan Rondo just now. I don't know. He's not really a clean cut face, but he's not extremely heel. Like I can push both sides, and that's a kind of comfortable place for me to be. But back then, I think going full heel don't really have it in me because I feel like I just resort to insults and stuff, and I feel like the RPs might just be a wee bit too inflammatory. You don't want to do that, so and I don't feel like it really builds to the character either.
I think this is my experience.
Well, in my opinion, AJ Styles is a terrible heel. Like way back when he was, not nowadays. Like he's an okay heel now because he can push both ways. But back then, if you tried to turn him heel, or when I can't actually remember him being heel, but if he was heel, I don't remember it because he was that fucking bad at it.
Right. This is from my experience. I also did not enjoy my initial Golden heel run, but it's good to like, so you're a face character, right? Like your baby face, kind of like Rondo and Golden were the same. They started out the same. They both go heel. They go like way heel, insulty, kind of like super dark and moody. And then you kind of like pull it back a little bit and you kind of like find that gray, that nice little gray area in between. So like I think you kind of know like, all right, this is how far I'm gonna go. It doesn't feel right. Let me pull it back. That makes sense. And like find that balance and that middle ground where like I can be layered but also be a face.
Yeah, no, I think it's well, yeah. You have to just experiment and
Right.
get there. If you don't, then you're never going to find that kind of place. You could write a one-note character the entire way if you want. You'd never. If you're always going to wonder a what if kind of thing. And again, just want to talk about kind of current RPers like again Michael Garcia. He's always kind of talking about wanting to try and be face and stuff like that. He just has to go for it.
Right.
And see how it goes. That kind of way. See how far you need to push yourself to actually make people like make it believable your guy's a face and things like that.
Right.
Something like that, you know. And I think back then, I pushed Rondo to an extremely heel point, but just for me, I don't like being that kind of almost Jack Severino type heel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just not my type of character writing.
Right. And neither is it for me with Golden.
Yeah, everyone has their own, their own way of writing, their own kind of thing they want to write.
So Rondo, so right after that back in business match, Rondo did kind of find his sweet spot of like a face, but also a face with an edge, a face that was believable, a face that had a little bit of like, just like not super white knight, over the top baby face. And that whole year, I think that was the year, like that 2014 was when you faced Page and Shane McMahon for the world title. I think Page might have won it.
Yeah, that
you were kind of in that because like Ryan Hall was the world champ, and I think he lost to Shane McMahon. So like you were building up to like being world champ that whole year, and then we get to Carnal Contendership like almost a year later. Crossfire is going to come back. We're going to do another brand split. And the winner of Carnal Contendership is going to be like the Crossfire World Heavyweight Champ. Golden and Rondo were the final two. I don't know if you remembered that, but Golden and Rondo were the final two. Golden was a heel. Golden was like kind of this Golden was the Jimmy Jacobs look now. Like that's like this is when he first started that look.
Yeah, he was just a dick. Yeah,
he was on an undefeated streak when he came back, and Rondo was like kind of set in stone as like he's going to be the world champ, and Rondo won. Golden and Rondo were the final two. So that was when that was your first world title win. Then at Back in Business, Rondo versus Golden versus Wolf versus Page, and Rondo won again. What did you like? Do you have any memories at all about that?
Yeah, I totally forgot to mention, but we've actually jumped from the PWS era onto WC. And that in itself was a pretty fucking massive drama,
right?
So yeah, no, sorry, just I totally forgot that there, but just get back to that there. I remember. Was that when you came back and you started from the bottom of the card?
I started from the bottom of the card. Yeah, I faced like Meth Head Matt.
Yeah,
that was my first match returning.
What
Meth
guy?
Head Matt. And I went all the way up, and like I beat Wolf 1-on-1. Like I beat Mike Parr at one point 1-on-1 when he first joined.
Shit, was Mike Parr Crossfire? Or no, wait, no, this was before Crossfire came back.
It was before Crossfire came back. So and then Rondo, and that was like that match was Back in Business main event or like sub main event, whatever. And you beat Golden, Wolf, and Page, which was huge. I mean, to me, that's a huge win.
Yeah.
And then I forget what happened with Wolf and Page, but then it was like from that point on, for pretty much the rest of 2015, it was Golden and Rondo back and forth. The next pay-per-view, Golden and Rondo face again, Golden won. The pay-per-view after that, Rondo won a triple threat to win back the title for the second time versus Golden and Stu. I don't understand how Stu got involved, but Stu was involved.
Yeah, no, I have no idea either. Maybe, I don't know, some sort of vodka and venom thing came into that.
Right. Golden won the belt back at Mile High, which led to Wolf quitting the Fed.
Oh man, he'll probably listen to this.
He'll probably listen to this. Yeah,
Okay.
he didn't think Golden should have won. Then Golden lost it to Kaizen, and then Rondo and Golden, I think, at trial by fire in like the retirement match, and Rondo won. So for all of 2015, Golden and Rondo were tied at the hip. They faced the Cardinal. They basically were last two at Cardinal contendership. Back in business. The next pay-per-view was the third one. The triple threat was Stu was fourth. Mile High was fifth. And the one-on-one at Trial by Fire. They faced 6 times at 6 different later pay-per-views or special shows. And I didn't realize that until I went back and looked that we faced that many times. I don't really like. We carried Crossfire for that year.
I mean, certainly were the centerpiece, and definitely had your kind of surrounding guys. But I'd also say that other things were definitely going on. You know, I'd say the rise of Kaizen was quite cool.
It was. He was cool.
I don't actually know how to pronounce that, so hope I pronounced that right. But yeah, no, I think Stu. I think that was Stu's last match as well, was it?
So
that triple threat.
Stu's last match was a little bit after, and
right.
we'll get to that night.
Oh, okay, but no, sorry. Just to say, yeah, no, the entire year was kind of cool. I think at that point as well. Again, I'd reached another point where someone had kind of, I don't know if it was yourself again or someone from my team said to me, it's kind of hard to see where you fit in just now. And I think someone said to me, make them, like, you just do something and make them see where you fit in. You know what I mean? I was kind of stuck in that point where I was like upper mid card, but I was not main event and I was just struggling to break through. I think I actually posted asking, what can I do to change? You know, to credit, people replied back. I know ET replied back. A few other people replied back. I can't specifically remember, but what happened after that is I think I posted something like a segment or something when Rondo came out to the ring. It was just like, you know, I can't remember what he complained about. He complained about a certain match being on show. It was like 2 jobbers, probably not actual RPOs. I can't remember. It was like, and he couldn't get a match on the show. And I think he said, fine, he'll appear at like the Cardinal contendership and just enter as number 1, and he's gonna fucking win.
Right.
And then it happened, obviously. And I think doing that again, if I didn't decide to write that in a segment, I probably wouldn't have given myself the kind of material to go off in the momentum to try and win that match or give myself a chance to win that match. I don't think I would have been. I mean, I probably would have been on the fringe of contenders for the match, but I think after doing that segment, I probably made some people give me some attention at least, you know.
100%.
You know, and I think, again, that's other people do that as well, and I think it's a really good way to go. You got to sometimes just say balls of shit, and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But if you make it happen, then that's such a good thing for your character.
So after Golden retires, or after Rondo retires Golden, Rondo in 2016 was considered, I'm going to say this pretty objectively, quote unquote, the best in the FWA. He unified the belts at Back in Business 2016, which included beating Paj in the first match to become the world champion. And then beating Cyrus in the second match to become the undisputed world champion. Cyrus had beaten Stu, and that was Stu's last match.
That was it.
Yeah. Stu literally messaged me after and was like, hey, I'm done. I've done everything I can. This is a good send-off. I got my last world, because he was world champion. It was like his last world heavyweight championship.
Yeah, I remember, man.
He's like, I'm good. I'm going to sign off. I'm out. So you unified the belts at Back in Business 2016. I think Cyrus followed up and beat you, I want to say. I'm not sure if you guys traded them back and forth, but I think around that time, because again, you'd been around the world title scene for more than a year at that point. I think at that point you kind of did your like whatever, like something, like you just kind of moved away from it. By the way, forgot to mention this, before you unified the titles, you won the North American title from Eisensane.
Fucking hell.
I believe you won the North American title. Then you also, because you
I gave it up. Yeah,
Oh my
I gave it
God.
up.
So that whole Cardinal contendership thing was crazy. Okay,
Yeah,
so
no. Look, I remember this so much. Damn, this is.
do you want to
I
tell what
remembe this.
happened? Do you want to tell what happened?
I'll try to.
It was an
No.
awesome
You can chime in
storyline.
as well.
Awesome storyline.
Basically, I think so. Just to go off of everything that's happened in like last year. So obviously Golden's retired now. So like Rondo's now, he's not got that rival. He's not got anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think obviously the Cardinal contendership comes up, and I remember this because I think I was part of the mod team at the time. I can't remember if I was head mod or not. Doesn't matter.
I think you were.
I wrote the match. I wrote the match for this Cardinal contendership, and I remember there was 3 surprise entrants. One was Jiggy as Chris Kennedy.
Yeah.
One was Randy Ramon, Sean.
Yeah.
And one was Cyrus Truth.
Yeah.
And I remember nobody knew. Like, well, probably some people knew, but I don't think anybody knew about Cyrus Truth at the time. Discord wasn't a thing at the time. So, there wasn't a lot of probably secretive PMing going on and people being in on things. Looking at you, Super Saiyan. But yeah, sorry, I just in case you don't get that, that's because Super Saiyan knew that I was Donny Toner like at Christmas.
Right.
He had it figured out. Cyrus Truth came in and kind of blew the roof off the place. Don't think many people expected it, and he was graded to win. And I think, did you grade that match as well?
I did, and I had Cyrus winning.
So what happened was, I think the brands were kind of coming to a close because we didn't have enough people on the roster to have 2 shows.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happened was Cyrus won the Cardinal contendership and was given a title shot of his choice.
Mm-hmm.
And he chose Stu. Mm-hmm. And so basically that left Page as the heavyweight champion, if I'm right. I'm not too sure if it was the heavyweight or the world champion.
He was world because Crossfire was heavyweight.
Oh, sorry, FWA champion.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that happened, and then I think what actually
it was second, third, and fourth, which was
So we came up with the idea is it was second, third, fourth, and fifth.
Fifth, right? Because Toner made a run.
Yeah, exactly. Toner. So yeah, I remember that. I was writing the match, and I was like, I can't remember. It was like midnight, and I was really fucking high, and I was like, it's like, what the fuck, they're right, man. And then I was like, you know what? It would be amazing if Danny Toner's just like taken out the match completely by Thomas Princeton, because obviously I was involved in this sort of angle because I had Christian Quinn.
Yeah.
And I just thought, fuck it, this will make Toner look good if he does this. And obviously, because Tig had he legit came fourth in that match.
He did.
Yeah, or legit I came fifth. I don't know. That was, I think the top 8 or something was the legit eliminations. I'm not sure. So yeah, thought it'd be good if Danny Toner was taken out, and he was pretty much out of the entire match, but he wasn't thrown over the top rope, and then he came back. I can't remember what he did. I can't fucking remember at all who he eliminated or anything like that. There was also a spot where he came back, and it must have been great. But yeah, so we had the round robin tournament, and I think Tig didn't show a single match. Or I think he might have actually showed one
match. He didn't. Yeah, so it was Rondo, Kennedy, Kaizen, and Toner, and he didn't show a single match. Mm-hmm. And I forget, but like somehow like Rondo, Kaizen, and Kennedy each beat each other once. I'm not sure exactly who beat whom, but it was you each won once. So then there was a 3-way tie because y'all all beat Toner. Yeah. And there was like a cage match between the 3 of you on the go home show, I think, and Rondo won it.
Yeah. So I can't remember exactly how it worked. There was a bit of some sort of grading breakdown going on. I can't remember who was on the actual mod team at the time. I can't remember if it was you, me, Kaizen, and someone else. Maybe Drew Stevenson. Or no, maybe not actually. In fact, it could have been Drew Stevenson, but I don't remember how we worked it out. But there was like, because of the tie, I think I can't remember. We also couldn't do head to head, but there was definitely something where we didn't have enough time to actually do like a proper promo show.
Right.
And so I think Rondo over the 3 shows had the consistent like high grade. Right. So he won it on that kind of head to head elimination basis.
Right.
And I think, yeah, obviously, if we could go back in time, I definitely would have, done an actual proper promo deadline. I think that's one thing I kind of regret looking back on, because we used to do like kind of an extra storyline show to just give every kind of match an extra boost storyline wise, give people some shine, and that was kind of something that Kaizen and I kind of like to do, and I think obviously Rondo being the kind of beneficiary of that, obviously, me being part of the mod team doesn't help at the time, so I think it caused a bit of drama behind the scenes, and it definitely could have went down differently. And what happened after that is obviously, Rondo went on to unify the belts, but it was a big moment, but it wasn't my favourite world title win, I don't think. If I'm being honest, I think my favourite world title match was probably winning that Back in Business in the Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah.
And it was obviously a good time, but I think at that point, as you said, I've been in kind of the world title scene for a year and just
you were
kind of lost motivation.
You were spent. You were burnt out.
I was facing Osiris Truth, who has just debuted and is kind of won the Carlo Contender Shout speech due. He lost to me in a close match, which, by the way, I have to say wasn't even the best match on the card. That went to Kaizen and Chris Kennedy, which again wouldn't have happened if the situation didn't go down the way it did. But that match had a lot of heat to it, and it was a really interesting match. So I think after that I'd kind of realised Rondo doesn't need to be in the main event scene. I probably need to recharge a bit. And then I think I took a break. I can't remember exactly where we got to after that. But I think we done obviously at this point we were doing a lot of kind of tournaments and stuff in round robins. And I think it got to Tag League. And I think I teamed up with Kennedy for it. And then I think we got to the final or something like that, and we lost to the Sin City Vultures. And I think the Tag League was for the two tag titles, maybe. I'm not sure. Can't remember. But after that, I think it kind of hit a point where for the character, he's done quite a lot, and I just need to take a bit of a break. And I think at the time as well, I was head mod, so, and we were kind of, at the time, Kaizen had said that he was leaving. He was, he was only there temporary. He had a set leaving time because he was getting a new job. So at the time, he had a lot of work going on. I was just like, it was very difficult to balance what I'm doing RP wise and what I'm doing behind the scenes wise. And I think I just need to take a step back from one. And then also I did that. And then eventually obviously I stood down and said mod. And I think just time went on. I spent quite a long time just RPing and telling a story, and it's quite fleshed out. And at that point I had nothing left to really do. I think I had a feud with Bell Connolly, which was kind of good. I don't know if that led into Chris Kennedy or what, but that was a good match. And I've kind of at every point Rondo's been involved with someone, and it's it was kind of nice to just take a step back. I think obviously I done the angle where he was made general manager, and I was kind of going to keep going with that angle, but I kind of stood down afterwards, and I kind of took a step back from the FWA, so kind of missed all of that. So that really didn't happen. So I don't actually know. I took a step back from the FWA in general because I was working a lot more in life as well, and I just didn't pay much attention. So I still don't know to this day how Rondo was written out as general manager. I haven't went back and read anything from that point onwards, and I don't think people really remember it anyway. It didn't stand out.
When you stepped back, it was a little bit after when I stepped back from the FWA, because I stepped down from mod, and I think I still had Shannon hanging around, but then I stopped doing stuff with Shannon as well. I do remember you guys, Rondo and Kennedy had I think a 2-match thing after the tag thing. I don't really remember. And I think pretty soon after that you stopped with Rondo, which was probably late, maybe sometime in 2017 is my guess. Maybe late 2016, but probably 2017. So
I think so.
You've had Rondo shelved for 3.5, 4 years, but not really. I mean, again, you were Donnie Toner this whole time. So
I think it might have been maybe 2018.
2018.
I think about it, because I think I faced Bell Connolly at Back in Business 2017. Maybe.
That's right.
And then I can't remember having a match at Back in Business 2018. If I did, I apologise to my opponent. But I think you just kind of get to that point where you have to step back, and the FWA community's changed.
So let's start. Let's end the timeline. Let's end with the Back in Business match now. Back in Business 15. Toner and Rondo against Golden and Ramon. How did I know? I mean, we both know how it formed, but I'll let you tell me. How did this form? And again, this is a year ago.
My God. So yeah, no, I think obviously you reached out to me to about the tag tournament coming up, and obviously at that time I wasn't that active. I think check messages and stuff like that. I think I got it late, and obviously things were already in motion. You had Randy Ramon. It wasn't like a serious like kind of discussion or anything. It was just kind of, are you up for this kind of deal? And I said yeah, but at the time I was like, if you have someone else in the line, on you go. I'm not necessarily that fussed. It's just a neat idea. And then I think I seen Danny Toner was paired with Donovan Moore, and I can't really remember what actually really happened. Me and Tig have got messages, so Tig probably remembers this quite well. He'll probably be able to explain it better than I can. But I think we were just talking about the tag tournament. I think I said to him, obviously, that she had reached out to me to come back, because it was like the first time MD's kind of reached out to me and asked me like, do I bring Rondo back? Like someone else has, like a few other people have, but like that was the first time, and I was like, you know what, I'll have a look at the FWA and see what's happening. And yeah, Tig was there, and I was like, yo, I think Donovan Moore no-showed actually, and I was just like, yo, you want to message Mitch and just tell him we can team up, like just tell him, you know, obviously, are you in for this or what? Because you've no showed already, so if you're not up for it, it's cool. I've got a new partner. I think that's what happened. I can't remember, and I think Mitch was fine with it. And then obviously, me and Tig was just like, do we bring back Ryan Rondo for this kind of deal? And I was like, yeah. So like, how we doing it? And then obviously we were, you know, what me and Tig are like, we're both very high, and I think we just got round to the idea of like putting a mask on Rondo. I think I can't remember it. I genuinely can't remember how it went down, man. But it was, we just got ridiculous, and we were like, what if like we just do like an extravagant story where like Danny Toner meets his long lost twin brother. That's why he wears a mask, because they're twin brothers. So you know that gives Rondo the cover to wear the mask. He wears the mask, so you know that's Donny, and I think we just got carried away with it. We knew that obviously at the end we were going to reveal as Rondo, and you know, I don't want to get too deep into it because there's obviously still some more stuff of this angle to come. But you know, there will obviously be like, we knew we could take the piss with Donny Toner and Danny Toner because we know we can explain at the end, you know, that it was all just a piss take. Like the stories of them competing in the king of the double iron fist or whatever the fucking tournament is called. You know, we could just explain that away as being an exaggerated storytelling, you know, like made up kind of deal. I think because the way we kind of tried to tell it was not like explicitly like actually happening. We were trying to kind of explain it's maybe an embellished story. You know, kind of like in How I Met Your Mother, if you ever watched that.
I've seen bits and pieces.
Yeah. So like embellishes things like that, you know, like calls like joints, sandwiches and stuff like that, like just dumb stuff like that, you know, switching stuff about. So we knew we could get away with all that, but we knew when the reveal comes, we have to kind of make it logical and stuff. And I guess the stars kind of aligned in a way. We never necessarily knew. Well, obviously we kind of knew that we wanted a match between Ramon and Golden, and at that point, if you remember, we'd kind of wanted that match before the tournament we'd even got past the next stage of the tournament.
Right.
Because we beat Sully.
Right.
And then we got Gabby and Alistair Black, and we lost to them. We were eliminated. So we always, like, mind we were talking about it, we were going to say, like, we'll try our best to win all of our matches so we can meet in the tournament. Whether that be, and like we were in the loser bracket, so we could only make it to the finals anyway. Like, or you guys would lose and you would meet us in the loser bracket for elimination, and we could face each other, and then that would kind of lead to a feud between us. And then obviously you guys ended up winning the tag tournament. So now me and Tiger up shit creek because now we have to somehow get ourselves a title shot. And you know, I think it all paid off in the end. Like it's not like, I think if you guys didn't win the tag belts, I think we would have got golden showers or golden rock, whatever they're called, against the Toner Brothers much sooner.
Mm-hmm.
And it was always just going to get there. But I think we're just planning this stuff out. Like you and Sean have known all along it was going to be Rondo and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's just been fun to sit back and have fun and just shoot the shit and chat and just, like come up with dumb ideas. Like if people could see the chat we have and all the dumb shit we've kind of thought about doing, it's quite funny. So that's the kind of fun in it. I suppose that's the reason why I brought Rondo back, is because I don't want to, like, I know the tag belts are involved, but I'm not an extremely competitive person at the moment in the FWA environment. It's not my priority. The reason why I brought Rondo back wasn't to win the tag belts, and I'll explain over time why that is. I don't want to give too much away, obviously, but I think I seen some comments like John put a question saying he's wondering how long I'm back to RP for, and he's right to put that because I've always said when I bring Rondo back, I'm not coming back for an extremely long time. This will be a retirement run. Once I lose the tag belts, I can definitely say I've got no intention of challenging for the world title or anything. Because at this point, I think there's really nothing more I have left to accomplish with the character. So on a purely competitive level, but on an enjoyment level, obviously I have a few things I want to do. I would still like to, if Kennedy's around next year, maybe a back in business match if I make it there, and he's still got the streak intact. Or I would like a rubber match with Cyrus Truth. We are tied, one each. We've had 3 matches, one win, 1 loss, 1 draw. So I think that'd be a nice blow off to end everything. And I'd like to, kind of right the wrong of losing the world title to him. I lost the world title to him and I enabled him to come into the FWA and claim it. Putting the belt on Rondo and like keep me around there, like it's the character doesn't need it. Like what can my like promo material and all that be? Maybe if somebody ruins the belt, bringing prestige back to the belt, maybe. But right now, on a personal level for the character, like it's hard for me to believe in my own writing for me to say that he wants to win this belt because he's already done that. Already a Grand Slam champion, already got all these like ridiculous achievements. I feel like I just becoming a bit of a parody of myself. I just kept coming back to win belts and all this kind of shit. So the tag title angle, we've kind of set out to achieve something and we achieved it. And it's kind of brought everything full circle for the character. So we'll see where it goes. And yeah, I'd imagine this would probably be the last back in business for the character. And I think I don't know what anniversary show it is this year, but I imagine the anniversary show will probably be the last show, I think, for the character anyway. Not for me as an RPR. I still enjoy, obviously, the community and using other characters and stuff, but I think on that for that character anyway, that'll be that. I mean, we've been sitting here talking about it for quite a wee while now. Done plenty. I think it's time for someone else to maybe do that. Maybe Tig or I don't know, Sean, Super Saiyan. There's just a ridiculous amount of people who are ready to grab the brass knuckles, as you say. Brass knuckles, the brass rings, rather. But, feel free to grab brass knuckles as well if they want. But I'm sure they'll help. But yeah, no, I think that's where I'm at with the Rondo character in terms the view of the FWA. And we always talk about characters and what they kind of mean is it's like Devin Golden is your character. It's like the character that's probably most based off of you, your personality, the type of person you are and can be, and I think that's the same with kind of Ryan Rondo. That's kind of like my main character, to put it bluntly. And I think I've done plenty. I went through the entire career there pretty much. So yeah.
I'm going to do like a rapid fire set of questions. What was your favorite angle you were part of with Rondo?
Wow. It's really difficult to say. I think I'd probably say winning the Cardinal contendership and then going on to just do that kind of yearly world title run was fun. And definitely just having that kind of feud with Golden, because it kind of just put the icing kind of on top of the tag team, Sunrise Sunset. It kind of, like we were talking about earlier with Vodka and Venom, it kind of, when our tag title run ended, that was kind of it. we didn't kind of stick together too long as a team after that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the feud after that and kind of the way it ended with Golden being retired by Rondo was a good way to put the end on that. So that was a nice way to wrap it up, and that was probably my favourite kind of. I mean, you say dangle, but it was kind of like a kind of stint, if you want to put it that way, kind of arc.
Yeah, it was. I mean, yeah, it wasn't just like one angle. It wasn't one feud. Like it was. It was like such a like. I don't say stop and start or start and stop, but like there was a whole feud with Kaizen in there for Golden. Like there was just
there was a lot there. It was just an overarching picture. It's just that kind of period of time in general is probably one of my favourite times, just being in the FWA.
I would say that Crossfire year was so much fun. Crossfire was great.
Yeah, the Kaizen Golden match was amazing. Or was that year? Sorry, wasn't that year. The X Division match, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, damn.
It was a crazy match. I mean, we don't have to go into that whole backstory. But that was an awesome, like, it was a really good, like, awesome match. Yeah, and Kaizen was a great character.
But yeah, that's when I was obviously in the thick of it, being in the FWA and stuff. Mm-hmm. So that stands out a lot more to me. But, again, just looking at stuff today, I can see the community's kind of booming again. And there's a lot of interesting things going on. Just because I'm not necessarily interested in competing doesn't mean I'm not interested in paying attention. And I mean, right now, I would say the angle with Golden Rock, I'm actually really enjoying it as well. It's kind of been not necessarily a year long, but it's kind of been a nice long story arc.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna assume that your favorite title win in Reign was also that one when you won a Carnal Contendership and defended it back in business.
Most likely, yeah. I think winning the tag belts as well, of course. And I think again, recently winning that tag title was kind of satisfying because again, both teams kind of put so much into the angle where a win for either team is really satisfying in terms of your character and what you've put in. And yeah, I kind of felt like all four of us know how good each other is, and we all knew, we had a lot of anticipation for it, and I think everyone was kind of on. As you know, people thought the match was really close. The promo stood out, so this angle and title win, all that kind of stuff I'm enjoying it. We've not defended the belts, but still a reign.
Who is someone from the current roster you would want to work with? Maybe you might not be able to, but you would, either as a team or in a feud. And the answer can't be Toner, Ramon, MVH, or Golden.
Okay. Who do I want to work with? I'd probably say Nova Diamond.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've feud him as well at the moment. Again, he's an interesting feud as well with what he's going on. So I would like him to, if he'd won the world title, I'd definitely put Rondo's career on the line against him, or whatever his angle is. I don't know what he's doing. He's on some sort of suicide mission, I think, or he's going to be on one soon. He's not been around very much, but I think he's only interested in the high stakes matches. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So could do that. Kind of took out my top answers, man. Let's see. Definitely Chris Peacock as well.
Peacock's
Chris
awesome.
Peacock. Aye. So, him. In terms of teaming, it's hard to answer the question because right now all I can think about is probably teaming with Tig. We are. That's just the natural kind of team at this point. Try to think of other people. I suppose Gerald Grayson as well.
Grayson's very like how Rondo and Golden were when they first joined and when they were like ex-champs. Like that's Grayson right now. Yeah,
there's like a kind of air to him like that. Yeah. Other feuds, I probably come back just to feud with Michael Garcia for the hell of it, man. Fuck it. Let's just fucking go. Everybody just wants a piece of that guy. Or Sean Summers. Sean Summers would be good to feud against.
I've done it twice with him, both in CWA, not with the Golden character, obviously, with other characters, and he's fun. He's a fun character. He's a really good.
He gets into it, so that'd be good. Other than that, I can't really think of anybody else. I apologise to everybody else, but if I had all the time in the world, I would definitely, if I'd started in the FWA today, I'd have all the time in the world to hopefully go through the entire card if I wanted to. like, you know, just start from the bottom as a rookie and work my way up. But that's what I done all those years ago. So, you know, it's different nowadays for like people such as yourself and myself. It's very hard to work everywhere else on the card because, you know, everyone kind of associates you with being a main eventer or, you know, a guy who's high up in the card, or, you know, at this point you're a dad, so, you know, you've just became a dad, so your time's going to get very limited, so you'll understand it. You won't have the time to do all of these things that maybe everybody else wants to do with you, you know.
Right.
So yeah, there's nobody in the FWA that stands out to me as like, no, I definitely wouldn't want to work with that person. I wouldn't want to feud with that person, you know. And another time, you know, if I was in the FWA, I'd happily face MD, and that's how it was back then for me as well. There wasn't MD I didn't want to face. I think that's just in general. I think a lot the same for a lot of the roster. Like, if you just put them together, I'm sure some magic will happen eventually. Dream matches and stuff, I think, as I said earlier, probably just the Kennedy Street match and Cyrus Truth rubber match is really it, and probably a match with Michelle von Horowitz as well, like a proper match. I think we could have a good match because obviously she's kind of linked with Toner as well just now, and we did a story thing at kind of Christmas, New Year's time, so there's still that linked in.
Last question on this little rapid fire: how has the FWA transformed / changed in the last 12 years? I mean, again, 12 years ago was when you joined with Ryan Rondo. It was 29. Yeah. It was 2009. We were on PWS forums. How has it changed?
Damn, I realised you said it's rapid fire. I'm taking fucking forever to answer questions. So, no, what has changed in the last 12 years? Oh, it's definitely a lot. As I said, it's a lot more stacked. I feel like the gap between like positions on the card is much. You know, I like felt back then like the lower card was clearly defined as scoring at the time like 60s, 61s, 59s. I think in today's FWA, your lower card is probably scoring like fucking 64, nearly 65. Like if they've really pushed it. So overall the quality is definitely raised, and I think that's just a sign of the community maturing and the average age, you know, kind of going up. Because 12 years ago, think how young a lot of the RPing community was back then.
Oh yeah, I think I was in college.
Yeah, exactly. I mean myself as well. So, you know, when you go back then, forums and all that kind of stuff were all popular. Nowadays, it's not really that popular. It's only the people who used them back then are kind of still about.
Right.
Like back then, one thing that has changed is the amount of signups from like new accounts. Back then, the volume was high, but now it's quite low. So it's a lot of kind of people who are already established in the FWA community, maybe signing someone new up, like a new character. Whereas back then, I felt like every couple of days, FWA on PWS got new signups. I mean, they didn't stick about, most of them, but, you know, there was definitely a higher amount of people coming in. You know, kind of the same culture, maybe a wee bit, again, because of the average ages went up, it's a wee bit different. But, yeah, no, it's still kind of the same culture. People joke about, have fun. And I don't think the FWA would be nearly as fun without that. You know, if we didn't have a Discord, like I remember when FWA came to Wrestling Clique, we didn't have a shout box. You had to also pay for it. And at the same time, you know, the EFED community didn't, you know, it wasn't, we came over from PWS, so it's not like everyone integrated right away. So it took a while to get going. But I think now, you know, FWA is in a good place, and it's obviously, you know, these things don't last forever and things like that. So who knows what could happen? But I think it's not going anywhere. And I don't think on PWS I could have said that confidently. I mean, PWS, it nearly got deleted. So
PWS is kind of a shit show at the end there.
I can't believe. I think the FW has been on. Has it been on Wrestling Clique longer now?
It was on PWS from 2005 to 2013. It's the exact same. It's pretty much 8 and 8.
That's crazy.
So we're almost on Wrestling Clique longer. Which that's a real. I would never have thought of that. At some point it's gonna be on. I mean, like give it 5 months, it'll be on Wrestling Clique longer. I
Yeah.
would have never thought. I would have never ever thought we were a wrestling clique. EFED. I would have always been like still slightly associated to PWS. But yeah,
Yes,
you're right.
yeah. No, I think that's because of like, you know, yourself, myself, Jiggy, ET, Wolf. Some of us are all still kind of kicking about. I think Sayer and Sully were on PWS as well.
They were.
So it still obviously has that kind of vibe to it, but you know, yeah, PWS is just a massive fucking shit show. So
All right, gonna do we're gonna finish with a really. I think it's gonna be a fun exercise. You've been a mod before, head mod.
yep.
I am head mod, been head mod in the past. We're gonna mock draft the first 5 picks of the brand split.
Yeah.
So you can have, which one do you want, Fallout or Meltdown?
I'll take Gunfight.
You'll take Gunfight. All right, you take Gunfight. I'll take Knife Slap.
All right, okay.
And
fuck man, that's a really good show name now.
And I'll give you first pick as the guest.
No boys.
You can have anyone on the roster.
Yeah.
If you take Peacock, I automatically get Cyrus with my 5th pick. That'll just be the rule, because like Peacock's ex-champ, Cyrus is North American champ. They got to be on the opposite brands.
Okay.
You can draft Ramon, Golden, Rondo, and Toner separately. You have to draft them separately.
All right, okay.
And then anyone else is fair game. So you have first pick.
I'm not fucking drafting Ryan Rondo, man. That's fucking crazy. Crazy if you draft him. Yeah, I'll draft Michelle von Horowitz.
That's fair. I mean, she's Michelle von Horowitz, right? Like she's the best in the Fed right now.
Yep, that's right. Sully's running scared of her.
Yeah.
Big bitch.
I'm gonna go Mike Parr for Knife Slap.
Oh wow.
I think someone said this and I agree with it. I think Parr is like just this consistent workhorse.
Yeah.
And you can book him in any feud. I mean, he's a heel. He's going to be a heel, but you can book him in any feud, any angle, with any, like he's so versatile. He can go anywhere on the card. And I think like it's important to have someone like that. So I'm going to go, I would have probably gone with Michelle as well if I had the first pick, but with the second pick, I'm going to go with Mike Parr.
Aye, cool. I fine then. I'll go with Danny Toner.
Oh man. Okay, so
here we go.
Fast forward a year from now. Is Danny Toner a world champion?
He is. I don't know if he's a world champion, but he's main event back in business. That's what's happening.
Wow. So next year he's main eventing back in business.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening.
Okay. I like that.
Yep.
With my second pick, I'm going to go with Crash.
Oh.
And I'm going to say that I think that it would be the main event of back in business would be Danny Toner against Crash.
Oofed. Yeah, oh yeah, I forgot it was one world title, yeah. No, so everyone would compete in the Carnal contendership. Yeah, no, that could happen, yeah.
Danny Toner against Crash would be fun. Like, I think that'd be a lot of fun. Right?
Definitely. I mean, yeah, no, we've obviously Toner's had these things with Aleister Black in the tag tournament, so and obviously fucking Gangsters have kind of trod in on the tag title picture a little bit. Punk bitches. So yeah, I think there's some interesting history there. And I think obviously a lot could happen in a year's time, theoretically.
Yeah. All right. Your third pick.
Shit. I'll take Chris Peacock.
Damn. Okay. He was going to be my fourth pick. So I'm sad that you got him. I'm sad that you stole him from me.
Damn, I was going to take fuck. Okay, on you go.
He was gonna be like, I have someone in front of him, but he was gonna be right after that. So
yeah, I know who you're gonna take.
I think Peacock is like the most fun character in the from a gimmick wise in the FWA right now.
Yeah. I mean, I totally. I think Command just has fun writing, doesn't he? So
right, he just has fun.
Yeah, and I think the concepts he has in his promo, he's obviously fans of them. You know, he enjoys what he's writing, and it kind of shines through in his writing. And you, as the reader, you're always going to kind of pick up when someone enjoys what they're writing, or when someone's really into what they're writing. You know what I mean? You can feel the mood behind the words, so to speak.
With my next pick, I'm gonna take someone who I also think has a really fun character and possibly has been held back by the Golden character. I'm gonna take Randy Ramon.
Fuck, that's the guy I was going to choose, but I thought maybe you would take Peacock if I chose him, and so I fucked that one up. So I'm sorry, Sean.
If you had taken Ramon, I would have taken Peacock. So no matter what, Peacock and Ramon were going right here in round 3.
Okay. So who's left now? Let me see. Pick 4. So what? I guess X titles on Gunfight then.
So X titles on Gunfight. So I get my 5th pick is automatically Cyrus. You know what? Screw it. We're not even going to live by that. The titles don't matter. We'll just go.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's fine then. So you don't have to pick Cyrus then.
Yeah, I don't have to pick Cyrus. I might still pick Cyrus, but I don't have to pick Cyrus.
Okay. Number 4. I would choose Nova Diamond.
Oh my god, that's such a good pick.
Fuck, man.
He's a great.
It's so tough though to choose.
It is tough. He's a
I've
good
got
character.
5 guys. Yeah, man. He's obviously sometimes I speak to Oz. He's a pretty cool guy, so it's interesting to see the kind of motivation behind Nova and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. So I have Par, Crash, Ramon. Ramon is gonna Par and Crash are established main eventers, if not very quickly could be established main eventers. Ramon is kind of going up in the rankings as well.
Yep.
With my 4th pick, I'm gonna take Eli Black. I think he's slept on a little bit. I like the character. I think he's got I think the franchise is willing to try. He's willing to try stuff with gimmicks and angles and shticks and stuff like that. I think he's willing to throw stuff at the wall, and I like that. And I want to see. He's been a face. He's been a heel. He's versatile. I think he'd be a really good. At the start, he'd be a really good mid card guy that's rising up. I don't know.
Yeah, no. I think that's right. Definitely someone that stood out to me. I've totally forgot who Eli Black's handler is. Is that Mr. Franchise? No.
Mr. Franchise.
Yeah. Sorry, I get confused sometimes between him and Alistair Black. Handler. Yeah. Sorry. So yeah, no, totally. I think Mr. Franchise is someone who has definitely enjoyed coming into the FWA. Correct me if I'm wrong, is he not Willis's brother? So Willis was the former CWA champion.
Is he really?
I think he is. Yeah, I think he might be. Or he's related to him or something.
This is the
maybe
first.
Maybe I've got the wrong fucking. Maybe I've got the wrong fucking guy.
This is the first I've ever heard of this. This would be the first time I've ever had anyone say that to me. Ever known that? That's amazing if true.
Yeah, I think it is, man. I think that's huge if true. Fuck, man, I could be completely wrong, man. I'm just making shit up. So, I totally forgot what were we speaking about again. Sorry.
No, you're good. We're on. Let's go 6 picks. We're on pick 5.
Oh yeah, 5. Aye. So Eli Black. Yeah, no, he's cool. I sorry, I got carried away there. But yeah, no. Pick number 5. Let's have a wee think. And I think for pick number 5, I'm gonna go with Captain Fantasy.
So,
or is Captain Fantasy I don't get this. I haven't read the RPs that much. I've just seen the fucking amazing kind of John Cena base pick and kind of I've seen the comic style and the writing and stuff like that.
He has the whack, the wham.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. So yeah, he'll fit right into Gunfight. Absolutely.
He's fun. Yeah. I'm gonna go with JJJ. So John's characters go both round 5.
Yeah, JJJ or Triple J or how did he even come up with that name?
I don't know.
You wonder how you come up with names like Ryan Rondo and then you've got JJJ and You remember the wizard guy in Crossfire called
Yeah,
Dementio or
Dazzling
something,
Dimiento. Yeah.
like that? Yeah. Fucking Decibelio Turpentine. Where the fuck is that name come from, man? Yeah, no, that's a good pick. I think, JJJ is obviously a solid character. He's kind of John's a good writer, obviously, and he kind of once he has an idea, he's really good at playing out that idea. And John's a varied writer. He writes a lot of varied characters that kind of work. So yeah, I think JJJ works. So
one more pick
sorry,
for each. One more pick
one
for
more
each of
pick.
us, and
Fuck.
then we'll call it.
I think I would pick. Just try to think who could fill out my mini roster. I'll go with Gerald Grayson.
That's a
Have you
great.
picked him?
Ah,
You
that's a
haven't
good
picked him,
pick.
no. Aye, so Gerald Grayson.
I was definitely considering him. He was definitely on like a list of 4 for this last one. He
Yeah.
was definitely in that group.
I think him and Peacock have a barnstormer or two in them.
Yeah,
And
there's a chemistry there. They even had
aye.
this segment on Fight Night. There's a chemistry between those two.
But the thing is, I think even like the draft we've just done there, I can see obviously the draft going a little bit differently down the line, like the actual draft. But when I think about it, it's there's a lot of people on the roster. Like no matter where they're kind of drafted, there's probably going to be something for them there that's really good. Again, we're in that kind of the FWA is in a kind of transition state still. I think maybe not just now, but I think once we hit back in business and after back in business concludes, I think we'll feel like we're entering a kind of new type of era. Like I think right now we're just kind of transitioning over where I feel like we've got over the last couple of years for me anyway, just because I've just came back. There's been quite a different influx of new RPers or just maybe new characters, and so there's a lot of mileage and a lot of people on the card.
I agree. Sorry, I was losing my train of thought trying to think of who my next pick was going to be.
Shit, have you even picked? Damn, I didn't realize.
I have one more pick.
Yeah.
And like I think I should. I mean, if I was just going with like pure value, I guess I'd go with Kennedy. But he hasn't been around for as long, so I feel like for the sake of this exercise, I do want to give a shout out to someone who's been here longer. Like
Okay.
been here like this run. Kennedy Jiggy has been here,
Yeah,
like
no,
as an RP for 10 years, but like I want to give a shout out to someone who's been here the last year consistently.
Yeah.
Not a slight at all against Jiggy. It's between Alistair Black and Marcus McLean.
Oh yeah.
And Michael Garcia. And I think I'm gonna go with Alistair Black.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Alistair Black. So I have Crash and Alistair Black on the same show. I guess I gotta put them together in a team. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I know that could work. I mean, the way my picking was, it's just, again, I've really just came back into the community and I'm kind of mostly kind of focused on a lot of the newer type characters or, like people for me, like Gabrielle, Michael Garcia, Sully, Chris Kennedy, Devin Golden, Ryan Rondo, all these characters I've seen them all. So like I'm just honestly picking from the kind of mindset of, fun characters that like I don't really know that much about or I've not seen kind of fully fleshed out just yet.
Yeah, something probably fresh.
apart from the Danny Toner pick. I mean, he's been about, but he's not been about consistently up until now. I'd say is probably Peg's most consistent patch. I find it interesting because what if the draft does take on a kind of makeup of one side has got your kind of namesakes and one side's got your kind of your kind of freshness, your newbies, like if you know what I mean. That would be interesting shows, but I don't know how much that would work for me, like as a kind of viewer, like as a reader. Well, I say viewer, I mean reader of course, but like, just something like that. I think the key to both shows is getting a good mixture of each. Myself, yourself, Jiggy, Sully, we've all kind of been a part of that style before. And even in our own kind of rights, we've done some things differently, in each of our own kind of mod ships. yeah, it's just interesting to kind of think about, because with this draft coming up, are we going to see a split and kind of show identity? And I'm just looking forward to seeing how it pans out. Of course, all I'm going to say is definitely do not draft Ryan Rondo. It's a wasted pick, because as I said, I don't have the intention of being that kind of, the person that Ryan Rondo was back, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, however long ago it was.
You're getting picked first.
Oh man, fuck. Yeah, well, nobody has to believe me, because I mean I've sat for months denying that I was Donny Toner
It's
to
true.
SS.
You have
I
no
mean,
credibility when you
yeah,
say
he was
something.
sitting. Yeah, so he was sitting. He's been messaging me for months, telling me that he knows who I am, and I'm just like, "What the fuck are you talking about, mate? I have no idea what you're on about." And then, yeah, I think what it was is like a promo tag put something about fucking. He made up like a made up weed strain, and MVH MVH SS messaged me and was just like, that was totally you that made that up. And I was like, no, yeah, I just gave him the suggestion. He wrote the promo, I was like, none of this is to do with me. And I think obviously to go back and kind of harken back to all that kind of stuff we talked about, the Quinn review, I don't think we never actually planned for that to happen.
No.
That wasn't part of the kind of angle or the reveal. That was just a kind of spur of the moment thing. Like, yeah, we'll do that.
It's just a red herring. We just want to throw people off a
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. And I think as well, not throw people off a bit, yeah, but I think also in storyline, I think there's been hints throughout the storyline that Devin Golden obviously knows it's Ryan Rondo behind the mask. And I think doing the Quinn reveal thing probably gave him probably threw the character up, should have thrown the character off a wee bit.
Yeah, it did.
Because it's kind of like this isn't what I expected. But the thing is, I'm like, Devin Golden knows Danny Toner's bullshitting, and so it's just interesting to kind of play a bit of chess. And I think there'll still be a few more things to come in that angle, obviously.
So our shows, the 6 picks we made, yours, I'm just gonna go real quick, and then we'll cap this off. You have MVH, Toner, Danny Toner, Chris Peacock, Nova Diamond, Captain Fantasy, Gerald Grayson. Those are your first 6. That's a really good roster. I like your roster. I like your roster a lot. On my side, Mike Parr, Crash, Ramon, Eli Black, JJJ, Alistair Black. That'd be a fun 6-on-6 match. Shake, thank you for doing this.
No problem.
I told you it'd be an hour. I kept you for almost 2. This was a lot of fun. Awesome.
That's all right.
Awesome retrospective look at everything.
Yeah, man.
Glad you came back with Rondo. Glad you're back in the FWA. Glad we're doing the back in business angle. Another chapter to Golden Rondo. And it's almost like the Golden Rondo get a chapter, but it's also intertwined with like the Ramon and Danny getting another chapter, Ramon and Toner, which is like just as not the same story, but has like a similar multi-feud, multi-year arc to it.
Yeah.
The 2 feuds are not the same, but they have similar longevities. And I'm glad that we were able to merge them together. It's actually kind of cool.
Well, you never know. Ramon and Toner could end up turning out to be like Rondo and Golden when eventually, if they get to the world title picture. Yeah. So the symmetry there is quite nice, and I think Tig and I have certainly recognised that, and I think looking at the next card, obviously, I can't believe we've spent this entire podcast and we've not fucking spoken about the fact that we're facing each other in the next match. So I think Rondo versus, as I said to you in the chat, Rondo and Golden and Toner and Ramon, yeah, the stories have been intertwined, but on this card, they also can stand as standalone matches. Ramon and Toner could promo against each other, and you don't have to mention Rondo and Golden all that much.
Right.
And it will still be a match full of heat, because the guys, we know how much these guys hate each other and want to beat each other. It's kind of the same with Rondo and Golden, just a wee bit at the opposite end of the spectrum, because Rondo and Golden have had that history together already. They've been through like the absolute tops, like world title picture, rivalries, retirement, all that kind of stuff. Ramon and Toner still, like, even though they've had a lot of history, they're still at the start of their rivalry.
That's crazy to say that because their rivalry's been going on for 5-6 years, but it's true.
Yeah,
6 years, but it's
fucking no,
true. But
the
it's true
rival,
because
yeah,
they have so much more to tell because they literally have the world title still to tell.
yeah. And I think, with the tag titles, I think that's a good place for them to be before going into the world title picture, because I don't think they need to go for the mid card title or like the kind of secondary title, because this tag angle has kind of pushed their feuds up to the next level, to the point where I feel like the next kind of step really is a world title feud between the two, or on an extremely heavy blood feud, one or the other. But I can't see them feuding over anything else other than a world title after this. Like I just don't see anything else.
I agree.
I can't see, like, for both guys, I feel like they're at the point now where they just like to fucking beat each other. They just want to beat each other and kind of ruin each other's kind of moments or whatever, So they kind of want to one up each other or whatever. And I feel like, the next logical step is going to be, say, Ramon's in a title match and Toner costs him, or Ramon wins the title and Toner ruins his celebration, or vice versa, something like that. That's just something simple. It doesn't have to be anything too complex, because the guys have already laid the groundwork for all this history already. Everyone already, like, the heat's already there. And it's the same with Rondo. That's why, again, we made the matches on these cards. Rondo and Golden, it's the exact same. Like, the heat's already there. We didn't even have to do like a big Rondo reveal or anything. He could have just came out and challenged Golden to a match, and you would have had heat there already because of the history between the two. So yeah, it's all builds out. Yeah, it's
gonna be a fun
time for me.
It's gonna be it's gonna be a fun fight night and a fun back in business. And Shake, again, thank you so much for giving some time for this.
No worries, that's all good, man. Pleasure to be here. Look forward to many more.
Yeah,
and
good
hopefully
luck,
I look forward to people telling you that I sound absolutely nothing like Tig, you crazy fucker. I'm kind of glad I've toned down a bit of the swearing and stuff like that, and I've made myself a little bit more polite. I definitely do not speak like this with, like, my friends and stuff.
Yeah.
I definitely cut a lot of corners in my language usage, which is why probably sometimes during there I've like jarred up and stuff, because my brain can't process the actual proper English word. So yeah, but yeah, no, it's good to be on, and look forward to doing more in the future, hopefully.
Awesome, and good luck at back in business. I should say that.
Yeah, good luck to you too.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Happens.
We're gonna steal the show.
Yeah. I think obviously I think the Toner Brothers will win.
Yeah, of course. I'm not gonna say anything to that.
All right, okay.
Yeah,
we're not gonna shit talk each other, no.
No. Because if I shit talk and you beat me on fight night, then I've got nothing, and I'm like,
right, okay.
I'm buried. So I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let that go.
Yeah.
And
well, man,
and I'll save it for my promo.
You can't trust me on anything anyway, so as you said, my credibility is in the ground. So yeah,
you kept it, man. We kept that thing hidden for 9 months. It's crazy.
We were gonna get we had an idea to just do Donny Toner every week. Someone new is unmasked,
right,
as Donny Toner. It's carries on the mystery. But I think we got to a point where it obviously called for the serious reveal, and it had to happen there.
Shake, I appreciate it again, man. Thank you so much.
Problem, man. Take care, all right?
Absolutely. And everyone else listening, this is the next episode of the Untitled FWA podcast. I got Shake with the Rondo character, who's awesome, and he's back, and it's just amazing to have him. So, and thanks to everyone who's been listening.
Thank you.